The lights of the talent show stage glimmered brightly, but behind them stood a boy whose life had been anything but easy. His name was Daniel, a shy Filipino boy with big brown eyes and a quiet presence that hardly made him noticeable in the crowd. Yet, inside him lived a voice that could melt even the coldest heart. That night, as he walked toward the microphone, the world was about to witness something unforgettable. Daniel came from a poor family in a small village. His father worked long hours as a fisherman, often returning home empty-handed, while his mother sold vegetables in the local market to keep food on the table. They had no luxuries, no fancy clothes, no dreams of riches, only the hope that one day, their son's talent could be the key to a brighter future. Daniel had been singing since he was little, often by the seashore where his father's boat rested, his voice carried by the wind. His mother always told him, "Sing from your heart, my son. That's where your true strength lies." As he stood under the stage lights, Daniel looked out at the massive audience. The judges sat with expectant faces, their pens ready, their eyes sharp. Fear wrapped around his chest like chains. Would they laugh at him? Would they see him as just another boy with nothing to offer? For a moment, doubt threatened to silence him. But then he remembered his mother's words and closed his eyes, breathing in deeply before the music began. The first note that left his lips was trembling, but within seconds, his voice steadied and poured out with pure emotion. He sang not just the lyrics of a song but the story of his own life, the struggles, the pain, the hunger, the endless nights of wondering if tomorrow would be kinder. His voice cracked at times, not from weakness, but from the raw honesty of a boy who carried the weight of dreams bigger than himself. The audience, who had been whispering at the start, grew silent. By the time Daniel reached the chorus, tears glistened in the eyes of strangers who suddenly felt connected to the little boy standing alone on stage. One of the judges leaned forward, whispering to another, "This isn't just singing. This is truth." Another judge pressed her hand against her chest, clearly overwhelmed. And in the audience, people began to rise from their seats, unable to contain the emotion he was stirring inside them. Daniel sang as if his heart was laid bare for the world to see, and in that moment, every hardship of his life transformed into something powerful and beautiful. But just as he thought his voice would falter, he looked to the side of the stage and saw his mother, standing with tears streaming down her face, whispering, "You can do it." With that, Daniel pushed harder, his final note soaring higher than he thought possible. The entire hall erupted in cheers, and before he could even take another breath, one of the judges slammed their hand down on the golden buzzer. Golden confetti burst from above, raining down on the boy who had given everything he had in his heart. Daniel froze in disbelief as the crowd roared, the judges standing and clapping with tears in their eyes. His mother ran onto the stage, wrapping him in her arms as confetti stuck to their hair. For the first time in his young life, Daniel didn't feel poor, forgotten, or small. He felt seen. He felt worthy. The judges spoke with trembling voices. "Daniel, you didn't just sing. You moved us. You reminded us why music exists, not for perfection, but for truth. Tonight, you changed lives." The audience agreed with thunderous applause. But Daniel's journey hadn't been easy. Behind that one shining moment were countless nights of singing on an empty stomach, of practicing in silence because the neighbors complained, of battling self-doubt that told him he wasn't enough. There were times he wanted to give up, especially when his classmates mocked him for dreaming too big. But with every challenge, his mother reminded him, "Dreams don't die unless you let them." And so he kept singing, not for fame, not for money, but for the simple belief that his voice was a gift he could share. That golden buzzer was more than just a ticket to the next round of the competition, it was proof that all the struggles had meaning. It was proof that even the smallest voices can echo across the world when they carry truth. Daniel's story spread far beyond the walls of that auditorium, reaching millions online, inspiring children who felt unseen, and reminding adults who had long given up on their dreams that it's never too late to start again. As the confetti settled, Daniel looked out into the crowd and whispered softly into the microphone, "This is for my parents. This is for every child who thinks they're not enough. Never stop singing from your heart." The world stood still in that moment. His story was no longer just about a poor boy chasing a dream. It was about hope, resilience, and the power of never giving up. And as the cameras flashed and the audience clapped, Daniel finally understood something his mother had always known: when you sing from the heart, the world will always listen.